What's up, friends? Happy Monday. I hope you guys are having a beautiful start of your week. I am at an event, which is so fun. It is always fun to hang out with some really cool people, but I've had a bunch of questions and a lot of interest about this new offer I just released, and some of you are already jumping in, which is so exciting and so smart of you. I was actually just finishing up the details on the Hi Everybody offer page last night, and I'm going to be releasing it later this evening. So I feel like this is the pre-party, and then I'll have another video probably that's the after party. But those of you who are smart jumped in before June. What's up, Jared Walker in the house? And I am so stoked about this, okay? So I see the value of many different business models, but I want to tell you a little story about why I love this one that I'm now for the first time ever going to help you guys with the most, okay? So where to begin? I am incredibly grateful for the gift of internet business, okay? I'm just grateful to be in this era, friends. Grateful to be in the era of Wi-Fi and, global access to things and being able to train people from anywhere in the world. But here's the thing. There are a lot of business models and business hype that talks about freedom, but creates another job. Okay? Now, I actually stumbled into internet business backward. I was working in ministry, and I wanted a platform outside of where I was working, even though I loved that place and I loved those people and I still do. But I just had some things I wanted to discuss without needing them to be approved by someone, right? I wanted, no gatekeepers. And we're in such an incredible era of few gatekeepers, right? These influencers who are turning themselves into models, who are getting these incredible contracts when they never even had an agency, right? And people who have a message, who can take it to the internet without needing to go through gatekeepers of, a publisher for a book or a big event planner for speaking engagements or something like that. Right now, obviously that means that there can be, because there's a lower barrier to entry, there's a lower barrier to excellence, right? And you may have noticed that on the internet, there's a lot of crazy people out there doing some crazy, trippy things. However, those of you who have integrity and a really valuable, important, impactful message can now take it to the masses so much more easily. Here's the catch, right? I found internet business not because I wanted freedom, but because I had a message and I felt people needed to hear it, and I wanted a more limitless way to spread it, okay? So I started, guys, I built my first, I don't even remember. I think I built my first ever website. I believe it was on WordPress.com. I don't know if you guys remember that era, and they had like a certain number of templates, and I remember there were like 5 or so free templates, and I picked one and I tried to make it as personalized and pretty as I could. And then I discovered WordPress.org, which meant you had so much more customization power. And I had taken, believe it or not, a little bit of coding in high school. And I mean, literally enough to know how to center an image versus having it left aligned or something. So I moved to WordPress.org. And then I realized I needed an easier way to collect people's emails so that I could actually communicate with them. And someone who I worked with in ministry told me about a man named Michael Hyatt. I don't know if you guys know, have ever heard of Michael Hyatt, but he's a really impressive person in the space. A good soul, as far as I can tell. I've never met him in person, but beautiful work that he's done. And I remember being in his Platform University, which was his membership at the time, teaching a little bit of so many different online platform styles, different online business models, basically. And he had, I think, mentioned something called lead pages. I think it was him. Dude, I know, Jared. I can't say I still do. But at the time, I was doing my own coding, okay? I was like, I'm going to have a pretty website. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, I'm still so proud of myself. So I moved over to lead pages so that I could collect leads, aka emails, for those of you who understand this conversation. And yet I was doing all of this not because, I wanted a lifestyle of freedom and unlimited income or, location independence, any of that stuff. I did it because I had this message that I thought people needed. And I didn't want to wait until someone allowed me to come talk about it. And I also needed something that was very location freedom based because I was moving around a lot at the time. So I thought about becoming a counselor, but I was going to have to license every time I moved, right? So someone told me about coaching and building an online platform. So that's what I did. Now, fast forward, I built my first course in 2014, okay? Is that right? Or was I selling it in 2014? I think it was, I graduated from Georgetown in 2014 and I was building it the winter before. I believe I have my dates right, friends. Anyway, over the end of 2013 into 2014, I was building my first online course and I hired a web designer, web developer who I still adore. His work is breathtakingly beautiful. He and his wife are based in Australia. And he designed what is now the Bombshell Body course. Cost me 15 grand, okay, to have that puppy done. I think I asked my parents to front me some cash. I think I cashed out a pension I had at the time from my ministry job. I was all in, right? 15 grand. And it worth it. Let me be clear. If you are in the Bombshell Body course, you know that that is, in my opinion, one of the most artistically beautiful internet courses anywhere. Okay? It is not cookie cutter. It is stunning. And I worked with him through that design process. How many of you are like me and it's like, I can't design, but I can critique design. My dad is an architect. My mom is a landscape architect, and they're both phenomenal with design. I am phenomenal with giving feedback to design. Okay. Don't ask me to originate too much, but I try. So he designs this beautiful thing. And the cool thing is I had already spent a lot of money figuring out what the visual aesthetic of a brand that was in alignment with me was. What was my color scheme? What were my images? What was even the sounds and the scents and the locations? And guys, I didn't only just build out the aesthetic for one brand. I had in my mind that I wanted to have multiple brands in different niches. I wanted a wellness brand. I wanted a relationship coaching brand. I wanted all these different things. But the first one I built out was in wellness, and it was the Body Stewardship, is what it was called at that time. Now rebranded as the Bombshell Body course. So I dropped 15 grand on this course, encouraging him, giving him these Pinterest boards that I built out, mood boards, all these conversations. He was, and still is, the best, most understanding designer I've probably ever worked with. He was so patient with me. And we created this masterpiece that I then took to the market. Okay? Now I had my little following. A lot of people had followed me over from my previous work in ministry who loved my topics, my teaching style. And I sold this course for about, I think the whopping price was $400 or $500. And I decided that I would do a pre-launch price of like 200 something, right? So we got $15K for design and development, 200 per course, to a very small list that I didn't know how to grow. Okay. So I was doing organic social media posts. I think I was being inspired by quotes on Pinterest and putting occasional photos up of me holding a green juice. And then I was leading people to purchase this course for a fraction of what it was worth, not even just for the design, but for the content, right? So I was selling a low ticket course that I had spent a lot to have just designed. I had no conversion vehicle for it. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means way of regularly selling it. I sent out one email campaign to my small email list, and then I had no idea what else to do. I'd never heard of webinars. I'd never heard of masterclasses or any of the various things that people do. My personal favorite is still webinars. Okay, I hadn't heard of anything. So here I've got this course that's sitting on the internet. I sell it to my small network, and then it's like silence, right? Did I make the 15K back? No, not at that time. Since then, yes, that course has paid me back at that and then some. But then the next part of my entrepreneurial journey was to try to figure out, okay, how do I make my business a business? Y'all know what I'm talking about? And not just an expensive hobby. So that's when I fell into the work of learning high ticket courses, high ticket products, high ticket sales, which a lot of people teach, but they don't teach what I learned, which is high. Now some people call it mid, but mid to high ticket courses. In other words, we're now moving into the delivery. So how are you helping the client once they work with you? It's already done, right? It's already done. It's already pre-recorded. It's already complete. And when someone purchases and works with you, all that has to happen is that they receive a login. and that can be automated. Now, how did I figure that out? One, I learned more about the creation of courses that actually easily sell, the things that make people want to purchase a course and make people work through the content of the course so that they get the result that leads to incredible testimonials and rave reviews and happy repeat buyers, right? And I also figured out how to run an automated webinar that converted, okay? So now at that time I was running ads, so I had ads going to an automated webinar that was also beautifully branded. This was for a different course I'd created in the intimacy space. And people were watching that, and then they were automatically, now at that time I was taking sales calls, and they were wanting to purchase the course. Then, at the end of that era, I found a different webinar style that took people directly into purchasing the course, so I wouldn't have to be on the phone, right? So I had automated leads coming in from ads. There are other ways to do it, but I was running ads because I knew the offer converted, so I was throwing gasoline on the fire. They were watching this webinar. The webinar was super well branded, attractive, aesthetic, designed to convert, to build know, like, and trust, and to show the incredible results that the course could get. The course was completed, so when they decided to purchase, their purchasing was automated, their entry into the course was automated, and then their ability to go through the course at their leisure was automated. All of it was not me touching anything, okay? So what I often see now in the online space is people who have dramatically underestimated this particular model. And I get it, right? There's a lot of courses out there that are not that great. There's a lot of trainers and teachers out there who are not that great. And there's a lot of people, I think, who are wanting either very quick cash, okay, which is okay, but hear me out, or they're not confident enough to create a compelling legacy of a lasting product that people can access on demand. So here's what happens. Speaking from experience and from watching a lot of other people in this space. They go out and they sell whatever, through whatever mechanism, right? However they're finding their leads and however they're having the sales conversation. There's a lot of different ways. And then, I want to say this as nicely as I can, but I still want to be honest with you guys. They have nothing to put that person in once that person buys. Nothing. Nothing exists. So what do? They give them their time. Now that's cool when you're a beginner, which is why I'm saying some people want to go quickly to cash flow, and I completely understand that. But the problem is, if you go quickly to cash flow by selling your time and you never stop and pause and build a high converting, legacy living signature course, you are always going to be giving people your time anytime they pay you, because that's all you have to offer. Some people have like a book. Congratulations. I mean, I have one too, no shame, right? But it's $9 or it's $15 or it's $20, or their only high ticket offer is their time. That's exhausting. Okay? In case you haven't been out there delivering your time yet, it's exhausting. Now, I'm not saying don't ever do that. I'm not saying there's not a place for it. But if you don't have some kind of signature automated program, like if someone says, I would love to work with you, I say, amazing. I've actually got several courses. Here are the topics. Do any of them interest you? Yes, this one sounds amazing. Okay, fantastic. Here's the payment link. Payment comes through. All I have to do, and I've had VAs do this in the past, all I have to do is put that person's name and email into that course enrollment system, and I'm done. And they get to go launch into their journey of learning and transforming, and I get to go out to lunch or to the beach or for a walk, or I put my phone back down on the ground and keep playing with my kids, right? You guys see what I'm saying? So this does not have to be the only thing that you offer, but it bothers me deeply when I see people who don't have it to offer at all. Because if you don't have a place to plug someone in that allows you to deliver something of great value to them at a mid to high price ticket, bracket, whatever, range, then the only thing that you're going to be giving away each time is your time. And you're still, I'm not going to use vulgar words, but you are offering yourself out to people all of the time, because time is all you have to sell, because you haven't created a signature course that lives somewhere where they can access it without needing your time. Now, if you want to include group coaching calls with that or something, that's fantastic. That's what I love to do. I will often sell courses with lifetime group coaching. I put lifetime in quotes because it sounds like it's exhausting to me to deliver, but it's literally an hour a month of my time. And for the intimacy course, for example, I've done group coaching for that for, since 2017. So somebody do the math, over 8 years. But that's 1 hour of my time. The bulk of their transformation is happening through pre-recorded content. And here's 2 more reasons that I love this, in case it's not already obvious that I do. One, how many of you have ever coached people and you find yourself continually answering the same questions over and over and over, right? New person, same question. Right? And that's, lovely. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. So you sit there and you say the response you already know by heart. You could say it in your sleep because you're saying it all the time. Wouldn't it be nice if that frequently asked question response, if that here's how to do this in order to get this result response were recorded and put somewhere where they can have it anytime they want it. They can rewatch it as many times as they want. And you can literally be doing anything else with your time. You don't even know that they're watching it because you are outliving your life since you have pre-recorded your response to people's questions or whatever they need to be able to move through a system to get the result that they want on their own time. Okay? Here's the second reason I love this. Some of you may be saying, but I have people who like to have, thank you, Jared, for saying the word that I would not say. I'm not even going to repeat it on the video, but yes, giving out your time, okay? And not even, I guess they are charging, so we can still use that metaphor. Sometimes we feel it's free, right? Anyway, I'll talk about that in a second with lead flow. But there are people out there who like to have their hand held. And there are programs that promise hand holding, whether or not they actually deliver it. But there are programs that say, we're going to walk with you. It's going to be, high touch, all this kind of stuff. And while that's lovely and it sounds very noble, have you ever noticed that can attract crybaby clients? I'm just going to call it what it is, right? Clients with the whine factor turned way up. So are there people who will be willing, and maybe they'll even push back a little bit, but maybe ultimately they'll be willing to maybe pay even more than you could technically command for a course, much of the time at least, maybe not all the time, because they're getting more hand-holding through a process? 100%. But here's the thing. I don't want to hold their hand. I don't know about you. I have 2 beautiful children. I want to hold their hand, not the hand of a full-grown adult somewhere on the internet who I have not even met. Okay? Now, that's my style. There are some people out there are lots of people who love to receive an extraordinary amount of hand-holding. And there are some people, apparently, who even enjoy giving it, right? I personally think they maybe have a little bit of a people pleaser complex that they need to work through, but maybe they don't. Maybe there's just, I love being available for people 24/7. And if that's you, you do you. What I like is self-starters. Because I was thinking the other day, the moments in my life that have transformed me the quickest, the fastest, the best, most powerfully, and for my greatest good have been the moments when I have had to figure things out completely alone. Okay, where I had access to information, to some support, to some resources. By support, I mean resources. But where I had to call on prayer and my own resourcefulness in order to get a solution. So there is very much a MacGyver in me. How many of you know that reference, right? Here's a paperclip, a rubber band, and a straw. Save my dog, right? Or here's a paperclip, a rubber band, and a straw. Figure it out yourself. And the moments I've had to figure it out myself and I couldn't take a great big pile of emotions and dump them on someone, not that I'm the kind of person who does that anyway, but hypothetically, right, where I couldn't go and say, please fix it for me. Step in and make it all better. I don't want to have to think. I'm not like that, but some people are. And they don't generally like courses because they want their hand to be held. And that is fantastic news because I don't want them as clients. I'm just being real with you guys, okay? I do not want people who are like, you are responsible for my results. You were not available enough. This is not the level of support I expected. Indeed, it's a self-study course. There's group coaching. You are responsible for your own results. I love people who are self-starters, who take personal responsibility, who have a figure it out mentality, and who are happy to get it done, bootstrap their way through it, make it happen. Not sit there and find someone to blame and whine their way through it and say they want more check-ins or whatever it is, right? Not my thing. So by having courses in my business model, I'm able to help more people and serve more people, but not serve them with my time. Okay? And that also means that the clients who I directly attract, the people who I don't necessarily find through other people, but who come to me, tend to be a lot like that, and I love working with them. They're chill. They take personal responsibility. They're resourceful on their own. They get it done. And they don't need me to pat them on the back and hand them a tissue to get there. Even though there's a lot of emotional support that happens in the group coaching calls, but they're aware of the value of their own time, and therefore they also value mine. And we have this magnificent relationship. So does this business model kind of eliminate some people? 100%. But I'm very happy to eliminate that kind of person from my coaching world, right? I mean, I hope they find great support elsewhere, but I know that's not my style, and I know they won't be served by me. So, just being extra blunt. But this is the beauty of having courses as a backbone of your business. And when they're mid to high ticket, people still take it very seriously. They still dig into the content. They still get it done. They just don't expect you to do it for them, which means they're going to come to your coaching calls, if you've included that with their package, with better questions, with a sense of personal responsibility. So you have a bigger profit margin, right, than if you're selling low ticket courses, which I 100% don't believe in. I don't mind a couple of them to ascend people into some of your other products, but I believe the backbone of a wisely crafted internet business is a signature mid-tier, we're talking $3,000 to $8,000 course with group coaching if you want, that is sold off of an automated webinar so that people can find you, buy from you, and be served by you without you even knowing it happened. Okay? Now here's the last piece. What I didn't know until recently is how to leverage my image on social media. Now, I'm not going to go too much into this because this is the secret thing that I'm about to bring out to the marketplace. But what if, right now, I've got hair done. I don't have nails done. I think I'm just going to take a break from fake nails, friends. I just can't. I'm just so tired of them falling off and breaking and being in my way and trying to figure out how to type with them and the whole thing. But I've got a cute little dress. I do have shorts on if I accidentally held my phone in a weird angle, so nothing to see. But I'm all done, right? Because I'm at this event, and that's fun, and it's a great day to create content. And so here I am doing this video. But what about the days when you just don't feel like it, or you just don't have time? You could put up a quote post. You could dig through your phone looking for some old photos. You could tell a VA to dig through your phone looking for some old photos. Or there's a new option available to us. And it's leveraged, it's personally branded, still you, still what your people are connecting to, and not a faceless brand, although I have no problem if that's your thing, you do you. But we fall in love with people, and that's how we build know, like, and trust. And then we want to work with them. So what if there was a model where people find you, follow you, fall in love with you, watch whatever your, again, I'm going to say an automated webinar, your conversion vehicle where you're selling a beautiful signature product that solves the problem they have, delivers the result that they need as they take personal responsibility for that result. And meanwhile, you got paid, but never bothered. That to me is the only way that this freedom, quote unquote freedom of an online business can actually be freedom. Because what I keep seeing is people who are building online businesses with this big dream of freedom, and they build themselves total exhaustion, massive demands on their time, trying to juggle the sales, the lead flow, the client acquisition, the client delivery, the client retention, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting, right? And so they told themselves, maybe they told other people that they wanted freedom, and maybe they're still telling people that they have freedom. And sure, there's, flexibility of maybe hours and location to some extent, but if you're constantly giving away your time, no offense, but you're not free. You may very well be working even more hours per week than a normal 9 to 5. And that's not what I want. What I want is true freedom. I want to know that I am serving people at a high level while protecting my personal life for the people who are personally in it. I don't like the idea of having to tell children or something that I'm busy because I'm having to codify a stranger who bought something on the internet and now feels a demand on my time, right? Because I didn't design it well. Or wishing that I could take a trip and instead I have all of these calls or all of this delivery or somewhere I actually have to be to deliver. Like, at times it's fun, but if that's the only source of cash flow that you have, you are going to be exhausted very quickly. And I'm saying this with love. You're not going to see a way out because that's the only way you've set up your business. So whether or not you want to stack other things on top of this kind of, course model, whether you want to put front-end products on cool, I can help you design an entire offer suite based on the life you actually want to live. But I'm watching too many entrepreneurs skip this step, which can be a huge, constant revenue and positioning in the marketplace and client acquisition source without any extra demands on their time if they do it right. Now, here's a couple things where people get it wrong. One, they set up a course, like I was saying earlier, that doesn't actually get results or that doesn't actually sell because they don't know how to know what will sell and they don't know how to design it so that it gets results. They also don't know how to make it attractively marketed so that people can't help but want to buy it. Two, they create a course, but they never create the selling mechanism, right? Like my first course, I had no idea how to sell it. So I was so proud of this thing, but it just sat there, right? And it was like, why isn't anybody buying it? So you need to have a automated sales mechanism. And that's another piece. It has to be an automated sales mechanism. If it doesn't sell unless you're on the phone or running some kind of live, sales presentation of it, you're going to be tired and you're going to be resentful, especially when not enough, quote unquote, whatever that looks like for you, people are purchasing. And then finally, you've got to have people who are constantly showing up for that sales conversion presentation, automated sales conversion presentation, so that you have continual cash flow without any need for your personal involvement. Now, the last piece, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's the least important, but it's something that people often forget because they get into the internet world and they start watching all the trainings about whether your buy now button should be blue or orange, and they come out with something that just looks cookie cutter that they're excited about for all of about a week or two. It doesn't feel personal because it wasn't personal. It doesn't feel like if I died tomorrow, I feel like I have left my legacy on the world, because that's not how it was designed, right? It was designed by, someone who just told them, hey, you should sell this thing because it's out there selling. It doesn't feel like it matches the visual brand aesthetic. Guys, when I had that first course built, I just wanted to log on and look at it. You know what I mean? It was like closet trance. It was so beautiful to me that I just thought I just want to hang out here and look at what I made, So I was so excited by it. It very much felt like I had done what I was here in the world to do. In part, I feel like there's a lot of messages I'm here to share, but that felt like one of them. So people are out there creating courses or content that, for lack of a better word, I know this may sound a little silly and cliche, but it wasn't them. You know what I mean? They didn't care. It wasn't what their soul had to speak. But then the last mistake sometimes people make is they'll say something that feels very much like their essence or like it's in alignment with them, but they haven't made sure that it will actually sell. So either you create something you don't actually care about because it's not really you, or you create something that you care about but nobody's buying it because you didn't know how to position it and design it well. So all that to say, what I have learned over the course of my career is that courses, in my opinion, you can have your own, you do you, in my opinion, signature mid to high ticket courses sold off of an automated deadline funnel with a webinar. For some of you, this may be like, what the heck is she talking about? Off of automated lead and therefore client, because they're going to convert because your conversion vehicle is automated too, lead flow that is personally branded and yet not requiring your personal time is, in my opinion, it's the only business model you need. If you want to stack things on top of it, things beneath it, then cool, that's fine. But if you're missing this, prepare basically for your own online job, because you're always going to be selling out your time and you're going to be tired I'm just, maybe I shouldn't speak this over you, but from my experience, right? One might be tired. I have been in the past tired, resentful, exhausted, and thinking, I'll be darned before this is what, in my enormous capacity as a child of God, ability to create, that this is what I designed when I could design anything. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to serve people, but without requiring my time, which then means if I want to go do something else, if I want to, have another offer, I could. But if I also don't feel like it, I can skip it for a while because I'm getting cash flow from something that's completely automated and is consistently positioning me so that if I then do want to put another offer out into the marketplace, because I've got this killer course, anything else that I actually offer more of my time in, I can charge an even higher price point for, because that course is now a price anchor, showing that if that's, what her signature product is, if you actually get to talk to her and work with her personally, then of course she would charge a lot more, right? So I see so many entrepreneurs who are out there trying to get to quick cash, and all they do is end up essentially, we said it before, but can I just say it, prostituting their time. And maybe they move it up in the ranks and they start selling it for more and more and more, but it's still your time, which is the most valuable thing you have and the one thing you can never get back. So I implore you to put a course into your online business offer suite somewhere. And if you want help, that's exactly the new offer that I just created. I don't want you to create, first of all, I would love for you to create a course for your own good, right? For the good of the children who keep asking you to play with them and you keep telling them that you can't because you're busy, because you're working on your business. You shouldn't have to work on your business. You should be able to set up your business and your business should work for you. Okay? So first mistake, not actually having a course. Second mistake, not having a course that actually sells. Third mistake, not having a course that actually sells, that you actually like, that you're proud of, that you feel like you did something that is like a legacy in the world for you, right? Fourth mistake, not making it attractive. One, so that you enjoy being there so other people can't help but be drawn to it. Fifth mistake, see how many places people can go wrong with this? Not having a sales conversion for it. Sixth mistake, second hand here. Sixth mistake, not having an automated sales vehicle for it so that you don't have to be the one actively selling it. Like I was always on those phone calls. My course was automated, my sales were not. Then I got onto a webinar, bingo, and had my biggest month ever at that time. What are we on, 7? Seventh mistake, not having a way of automating lead flow. Eighth mistake, not having that automated lead flow be personally branded. You should be the unquestionable top tier luxury product in your marketplace. And you do that through having an irresistible, totally in alignment, unbelievably aesthetically based brand. A lot of people are just going to these unattractive captions on their face videos. And that's cool. Like if that's your thing, then you do you. To me, the aesthetic is part of the sales sequence because we are showing people the dream of the result that they can have if they work through our process and the result that we can help them achieve through the signature program that we're selling, right? So all of that, in my opinion, is the path to freedom. People stop because they don't know what to sell, because the tech hurdle feels exhausting, because they have no idea how to build an attractive brand. At least I assume so, because there's so many people who don't, There's just so many roadblocks on this that keep people from ever setting up this automated cash flow system. And that is why I'm finally willing. And honestly, it was a revelation because I've been working in other models recently and I've had a couple weeks where I'm like, this is one of the first weeks in a long time that I have not enjoyed because I'm very protective over my time. But every now and then, delivery demands that are based in different models mean it's just a hell week, right? And you can't get away from it. And so I am not only rebuilding this out for myself. You guys are going to see some really cool things coming very quickly. I didn't do much with it for a long time. I was thinking, I was planning, I was designing, and now the movement's happening very fast behind the scenes. So you're going to see it very soon. But I'm also having this offer available at a continually increasing price point. So if this sounds intriguing, please do send me a direct message pretty much ASAP because I'm raising the price every about 2 weeks. And a couple of you have already jumped in, so I was super excited for you. But we're doing this for you, okay? So what does that mean? That means you and I, yes, I'm giving you some of my time in this offer. You're welcome. And I'll be very clear in our conversations how much of it you'll get. But we're going to uncover and design a signature, stunning, deeply aligned, not at all cookie cutter aesthetic for you, for your brand, and for your offer suite. Okay? Ultimately, we're going to be turning that into automated social media that you don't have to touch, that all stays in alignment with the aesthetic that we pull together, okay? But starting with that, then we're going to figure out, based on the way you want to live your life, where you want to live your life, the things that you love, the things that you feel called to teach and leave on this earth, and what's selling in the marketplace, what is the course that is inside of you that needs to be created, and what are the most quick, leveraged but beautiful ways to create it, because it is way easier to create these now than back when I started doing this. Then we're going to build that course that you're helping to create. Okay, so I'm going to walk with you as you build it, but I'll show you the fastest ways to do it. Then my team is going to design the home for that course and build it out, develop it for you on a beautiful course software that I absolutely love, that I've been with for almost 10 years now. It's never failed me. And that course's aesthetic is going to match the beautiful brand and the opt-ins, and then the webinar that we're going to create together as well that will match all of this, okay? So you're going to have a course, a webinar, an opt-in, and social media all fitting with this beautiful brand aesthetic. And you're not going to have to touch it once it's done. I really want to gift more people with somewhere. You want to do other things, other models, cool. But you need, in my opinion, to have somewhere that you can send someone who says, I would love to work with you. Perfect. Here's my signature program. You can watch this free training, see if it's right for you. And whether or not they purchase, whether or not they do join you, you don't have to touch a thing. But because of the way it's positioned, designed, the ease with which they can obtain the result because of the way the course was designed, and the irresistibility of purchasing that course because of the way the entire attraction and sales process was designed, and the fact that the whole thing is automated means it's extremely likely that they're not going to be able to say no, and they're going to be deeply served. And meanwhile, you're going to be free. Okay? So that's what's happening, those of you who are interested in this offer. If you'd like more details, if you want to chat with me about it, go back and forth a little bit in the DMs or over email and see if it's a good time. If it's a good fit for you, then I'm happy to chat with you. I will again say the price is going to consistently go up. We have already had one price jump into the month of June, and the page with all of the details will be going live in the next couple days, possibly tonight, possibly tomorrow, possibly the day after that. And when that happens, the price will be rising again. So if you have questions, let me know. My goal is to set you free, give you a deep sense of pride on the internet, and take you off of the internet business hamster wheel, because that is what so many of the models that I'm seeing out there espoused and sold are creating. It's just a digital hamster wheel. And I didn't get onto the internet and out of, other professions I could have gone into in order to create myself a Zoom hamster wheel. You know what I'm saying? All right, my darling friends, go have a beautiful rest of your evening. I'm here for you if you have questions. I hope you all enjoy your week, and I hope you let yourself create and enjoy signature freedom. Love you guys. Good night.